Okay, I'm at 2612 Stanton Avenue, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a building. It's a multi-unit. I'm not sure how many units, 3 maybe. Could just be 2, but we're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. The access location. You can see there is a stack coming down here next to the stationary tub in the basement and the laundry. And kind of showing you around the inside here, so you know approximately where it is. And it's right here. And so this comes down, as soon as it comes out, there's a floor clean out that ties in. There's water running. I think somebody's doing the dishes or something. So I'm going in through this so that since it's only about less than a foot away, and just so I can access this without letting water come out of the line. So the water right away. There we go. So it's coming right down that stack, and we are right next to it. I'm going to try to wipe the camera off because there's always this like goo that kind of can get mold basically built up on the inside of these areas that don't get flow, or the top of the pipe, stuff like that. And so when you originally go in, there's this stuff that just gets right on the edge of the camera. And there we go. And so we are right at the base of the stack. It does look like, based off of some of the floor being cut, that some of this has been replaced. This is clay, and based off the age of the house, I would think that it would be clay line all the way out to the street. Which is it's a good thing as far as longevity. It's very, the clay can last pretty much forever. But the most common thing we see with clay is root intrusion. Just because there's so many joints, they're about every 3 feet. You can see because the water running, it's most likely hot water. You can see the light kind of reflecting back off of that steam. And so it's like we might have a little belly here, or it's just stuff building up behind toilet paper. Not enough water's built up to push it yet. Usually the water amount that runs through here until you do laundry or shower doesn't come through at a flush. Usually it's the toilet, flushing the toilet that comes through a large amount all at once, and it will flush this toilet paper further down the line. So that's all that was. So we'll try to push that on through, and then a lot of times you'll be able to see a lot better when we pull back into that. Because as you're pushing, you're pushing all this stuff up in front of the camera, kind of plowing it up. So the toilet paper doesn't break down, and so it'll disintegrate into the water eventually if it's just sitting there, so it's not a big thing. You have a little bit of exposed edges on the connections, which is very common. I'm hoping that once the water dissipates, I don't hear any more water running, that when we pull back, some of this steam will dissipate, and we'll be able to see just a little bit better. And I can still see if there's any structural issues, obviously, but usually the visual on this is a lot clearer. We don't have all this steam here. You can tell by all these spider webs. Obviously, water's not getting too high, even under heavy use. So this area, the water's a little flat. You can tell as I push, it's holding a little bit of water, but the camera lens is like maybe 3/4 of an inch off the bottom of the pipe. And this is a 6-inch diameter pipe, so I hope that we can get around this. I think this is actually the main, so it's just a turn right there at the edge at the main. and so the water is going through easily. There's no buildup there, but because of the angle my camera is coming at and it's rigid, obviously when you're flushing stuff down the toilet and all that, this turn wouldn't cause any issues, but because I have a blunt end object, it's hitting that. But you can see, if you look off to the right, it opens up into the main there. And so we have made it all the way out to the main. And just another remark, if this ever did become a problem, it's off the property, it's not the property owner's responsibility. So that's also obviously a good thing. So on the way out, all I really saw was the couple spots where some water kind of built up in some couple flat areas in the line, but nothing of any concern. It looks like everything is escaping the line properly and as designed. Well, I think now they're running the water in another room. Maybe they're washing hands or something. I don't know if it did, maybe a dishwasher was running, but we're going to, hopefully the water will dissipate a little bit as we pull back. And so, because that was another reason why all that is there, but we did make it all the way to the main, and I didn't see any structural issues, which is really good. So hopefully as we pull back, we won't have all that dust in front of the camera, or the haze, or the steam. But so sometimes you get this stuff and then, so like this, there's a little bit of water there. Some of that will dissipate as the water quits running. But having a little bit of a flat spot with a little bit of water is not an issue. It's not full of solids or anything. Just like in any line, you want to avoid using like wet wipes and stuff like that if possible. Basically you only want to flush toilet paper. It's designed to break down, like I mentioned earlier, so that it doesn't cause anything. You have situations like this where you can kind of see the edge of the pipe at a connection. This is pretty normal with clay because you can see that we're at an angle, a pretty good angle here. The line's dropping, and they would use these 3-foot sections and kind of rotate them inside the connections a little bit to get an angle so that they can get a drop on the line or turn it right or left. So you do see a lot of like exposed edges with clay. So these are not they're not a problem or anything. Spot with some holding a little bit of water, but see, a lot of this stuff is also dissipated since the water has stopped running. And so structurally, the line is looking really, really good. You can obviously see a lot better now that the water is not running. Spider webs. Paper. And see, like I mentioned, a lot of times flushing the toilet is what takes those down further. It helps flush the bigger things out, and that's what I talk about with the wet wipes, is that they don't flush out like that. They will, a lot of times, it doesn't break down. So as this toilet paper here will break down into nothing, and it'll just soak into the water and everything will be fine. These wet wipes don't do that, and so we always recommend that you avoid them as much as possible. You can use them, just throw them in the trash. That's hard to do with rentals sometimes. But again, there's another one where they're trying to get a turn down at the base of the connection. So, yeah, structurally the line looks really good. I didn't see any major defects. A couple flat spots, but nothing that hasn't been here since the line was installed, most likely. And a couple of like edges on pipes from where they were turning down, so it's obviously been that way since it was put in, and so the line looks really good. The only thing, like always, you always have to, like I mentioned with the wet wipes and stuff like that, can always cause, soft clogs or buildup, so it has nothing to do with the structural integrity of the pipe. It's just making sure you don't flush the wrong things down the line. And so it's really good news. The line for something, in a building that's 140, pushing 150 years old. This is really, really good. I'm sure the line probably wasn't installed when the place was built, but you never know. It is just definitely old and still in very, very good shape. And so that'll end the inspection at 2612 Stanton Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio.